Alright, I am back with another Palworld video. I will begin my coverage of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in earnest. Tomorrow is currently down where it has launched because people were logging in and finding out they had already beaten the game in one of the most absurd bugs I've ever heard of. Today I wanted to talk about an article I wrote a couple of days ago, but something I've talked about on Twitter recently. Buddy, what are you doing? Half of your time is spent throwing pals around from getting stuck. I want to talk about how I essentially changed the genre of this game. And as we know, this game is a mashup of a few different kinds of games, the biggest two being Pokemon and take your pick of whatever survival game, with maybe a little bit of Breath in the Wild thrown in there. What kept happening, and what I really did not like, was the consistent assault on my base of raids. And, well, as you can see, I'm in an open space and have not exactly built up some massive fortress. I did have defenses at one point, machine gun turrets and walls and like things that I was trying to use to defend off increasingly hard raids, but like it got to a point where it was just like desperately unfun, especially on my solo server here, where even I have this choke point where they're all coming up here, but what happened is the raiders started scaling just insanely high. So it was like if you're level 40 or whatever, the raiders will be like 40 to 42, and then sometimes they will just jump way up. Like I was 30 and then I got raided by a bunch of level 37 fire guys, and they just destroyed everything. And what happens is you are usually your prime defender, using your guns and stuff. This is like probably the best instance of using guns is to defend against raiders. You can use them against pals, obviously, to whittle them down, but most pal battles are kind of 1v1 fights with your own pals. You can get some heavy hitters in your base, which I have now swapped out because I don't need them anymore. And you can summon your own pals, obviously, to fend things off. But it just becomes so chaotic that it's just a bunch of particle effects everywhere, random things burning down, random things, breaking, what lower level pals you have being slaughtered. And buddy, let's count how many times I actually have to throw people. What are you doing? Okay, can you? Nope, I don't want to ride you right now. Nope, I don't want to use your move either. Okay, is this guy the problem? Nope, that's not you. Okay, so he's really stuck to the point where I can't even lift him. So we do the old switcheroo. Boop, boop. I probably shouldn't be using the boss one because he's huge. Okay, now he's going to go do things. It's just so like glitchy and bugged also, where you think you have good pals defending, but again, they get stuck on things. I used to have an alarm bell here. You'd ring the alarm bell to get them into active combat mode, and then no one would man the machine gun turrets I had set up, and they would just sit there with pals staring at them looking confused. Even my handiwork pals that are supposed to be using them. And all it served to be was just sort of a tax on your base, to the point where it just wasn't fun. You're just spending ammo. If half your base gets killed, you have to swap out everyone in your pal box and swap them back after they're alive again. You have to rebuild your structures, that got destroyed, when you have to spend a ton of money on defenses, like just to even mitigate some of the damage, even if you don't have a wood base. I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, raids are easy. Like, get to higher levels and raids stop being easy. You have raiders that can break through stone walls. Like, it gets very intense. And the other option you can do in order to, not deal with raiders is simply build your base somewhere where they can't reach. This is my extremely minor mining colony that's not fully set up yet. My guy is humping the ore. Are you humping this ore? Okay, you're supposed to... That just is disturbing. Okay, so I'm on the top of a very tall mountain here. Raiders can simply just not get here. It's like impossible. So this is one angle, but you are then forced to build in an extremely limited place. This ground is so uneven, like you'd have to build a ton of platforms to get it up. to get like raise your buildings, and then even here you're kind of at your limit in terms of where you want to build your stuff within your base. And it's fine. Like I get that that's an option to avoid raiding, but like it's sort of the same thing as just turning off raiding. And I don't know how many people even know you can do this, but yeah, I think a lot of people who are like familiar with custom survival games and stuff know this. But like if you're just jumping into Palworld for the first time, like a bunch of Pokemon people, you may not realize you can do this. So what you want to do is go to your start game, go to your islands, and then you do change world settings. Here, and then you go to custom difficulty. Here, you can change literally everything. You can just change XP rate, capture rate, stamina rate, hunger, auto health, blah, 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 blah. Like literally everything in the game. Time to incubate massive egg. Like you can change essentially anything on here other than just making your difficulty like normal, medium, hard, easy, whatever. And so the only thing I flipped here was turning raids off. And you can do all these other settings. I haven't touched any of them. To me, it's the difference between like just putting something on ultra easy mode. You build everything instantly. You recover instantly. You have infinite stamina. Like I have no problem with people doing that. It's just, to me, those feel more like cheat codes than just turning off an aspect of the game I do not think is remotely balanced. It is just something that really, destroys work for no real reason and no real benefit. And where the hell am I? I have never seen that happen before. Oh no, this can't be good. Another reason you don't necessarily want to build your base on mountains is you might spawn inside something here. Is there even a way I can fix this? Oh wow, I got out. Okay. I thought I was gonna have to respawn myself and then be screwed because all my items would be dropped inside a mountain. So that's, oh hey, I found an egg at least. Alright, so you've seen the risks of a mountain base from there. Okay, so what I did when you kind of turn raids off is you also sort of change the entire genre of the game, where previously, if you wanted to sort of build up your resources through automated farming, or wait for your eggs to hatch, or wait for people to, finish building your recipes and stuff, if you're doing that like a normal speed and you're not like accelerating everything, if you were waiting in your base, like, and trying to get stuff done, you would always have to deal with raids, and it would, disrupt everything, and you couldn't like alt tab out and not pay attention and like do some work or browse the internet or whatever and come back. You really could not do that unless you were parking yourself somewhere that was not your base. And even then, like, I think it's still possible for you to be raided back home if you're somewhere else. And then you would come back and all your pals would be dead and there'd be a bunch of random things broken. So that's just not good. Not good at all. So what I did now is once you turn raids off, this turns into essentially sort of more of like an idle simulator. Like there's still challenging things. You still have to go kill the bosses and like, catch all the hard things and whatever, but you no longer have to worry about just these waves and waves and waves of raids. What are you guys doing? God. Am I going to have to move this? Probably. Oh God. Okay. Just please, just get out of here. Are they getting... Okay. I just built this production thing too, and it's so freaking big. There's very limited places to put it. As you can see, I don't know how much I could even do on the mountain here. So what I've been doing now is like I just sort of have this open while I'm working, and I come back and I check the eggs. What I've been doing is like if it's nighttime, I will go fly around the map and try to find life monk statues, because that will increase your catch rate. But I can still make progress in the game without having to worry about just constant assaults from really high level monsters, to a point where like I genuinely believe those are some of the hardest fights in the game, because all the other fights are like against one tough dude, like and it's just you using your weapons, you using your pals. Like it's pretty straightforward. Over here it's a cluster of enemies. You don't know what type of enemy you're going to be defending against. You is it going to be one with a bunch of rocket launchers? Like, is it going to be a bunch of fire guys? Like, there's no real way to prepare yourself. So what I used to do is like run down here and start shooting them to try and kill them before they get up here. But it gets to the point at higher levels where you're just being blitzed by super high level guys that will just burn all your ammo, kill half your guys. So in getting rid of that, I found this to be a lot more satisfying. Where you can say this is easy mode, but like come on, it's friggin' Palworld. Like who cares? And I wanted to play the game at a normal pace without just instantly doing everything, but I was tired of the tax. So now my genre of Palworld here that I have custom made is idle base farming simulator in addition to regular exploring and catching when I do circle back and have time to play for a little bit. But when I don't have time, I don't have to just completely shut the game off because it's not, it doesn't make progress when you're not having it open. I wonder also if I could just play the Diablo 4 season while this is running at the same time, or if my computer would kill me. But so I don't know. If you're like super Mr. Hardcore Survival Palworld enthusiast, like sure, like leave raids on, build on a mountain, build a freaking fortress, and stack your base with level 50 dudes who eat a bunch of food and like go for it. But if you want to make this game just instantly more fun as more of a normal player who doesn't care about that stuff and is sort of just wanting to play Pokemon or Minecraft or whatever, I would recommend turning raids off until they are patched in some capacity. Because like I could see raids maybe being worth keeping on if they at least if they were big XP surges. So like if you killed, I don't know, 12 level 45 dudes that storm your base, like that would be a good chunk of XP, and that would be worth having raids on to defend. You get no XP. You get nothing. You get the materials they drop when they die, and the honor of burying all your dead Pokemon in your PAL box until they are resurrected. So that is my advice to a good subset of players. It is getting to be dark, so I am off to ride my beacon. Beacon? That makes more sense. To go explore and find Life Monk statues, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.